Calories don't just matter. The calorie count is everything when it comes to losing weight. The calorie count is everything. And the calorie count's only going to mean anything if you're counting the calories accurately. Accurately. Okay, anybody that wants to get shredded, which is anybody that's coming to me for coaching, they better want to get shredded or you can beat it. Beat it. The calorie count is everything. All right? If you're not counting those calories accurately, you have no clue what's going on. Okay, most people are absolutely delusional when it comes to how many calories they should be eating to get shredded. So how am I doing it? How am I doing it? How am I doing this cut? This is the easiest cut I ever done. Why? Because I'm using only canned food. Okay, in the past, I'd be weighing out food. Okay, I'd always weigh, you cook the food up, weigh it out, weigh out your rice, weigh out your blah, blah, blah. Okay, canned goods combined with the fasting. I just go to the grocery store at like 5 o'clock at night and I build my meal right there. Okay, I build my meal right there. The only things I care about is the calorie count that I have expertly chosen to run for now. It could be adjusted. To run for now like there's a gun to my head. So the calorie count I'm running, and this is when you're trying to get shredded. You fat pigs don't need to eat anything. Okay, but when you're trying to get shredded, eventually you're going to have to eat something. Okay, you can't just fast either. Okay, I got people saying, why don't you just fast down to 8%? Okay, have fun doing that. Have fun, especially when you haven't built any sort of discipline or routine. Even if you did have the discipline to fast down to 8% body fat, which I've done. Okay, have fun holding on to that when you have no discipline on your diet. So what I do right now is I'm running a 2,000 calorie a day diet or just under. Just under. I have a gun to my head to not go over 2K. Okay, but I'm also not going under maybe 1,850, 1,900. That more is just going to be a product of what I end up getting at the grocery store. Trying to pick the foods that are going to round best to those numbers. The only thing I do when I go to that grocery store, this is what I do. I'll walk you right through it. I walk into the grocery store with my calculator. All right? The first things I buy is my protein. Okay? I care about the protein number. Does it have to be exact? I need whatever it is, 187.5 grams of protein a day. Or I need to hit exactly 0.82 grams of ripped body weight of protein today. No. Okay, I just eyeball it. And I also go by feel on the day how much protein I'm just going to want to eat. I just make sure I'm not at a too low of a number that I know that I'm not going to feel like I can recover. So I basically eyeball the protein count. Now, I do have a number in my head that I like to hit that works good for me, for my lifestyle on a cut. Right now, I like to float around 200 grams of protein. Okay, 200 grams of protein, 2,000 calorie a day diet. That protein might even go up. Okay, again, this is when you're trying to get ripped. You're super. The only thing you need to worry about is doing OMAD and driving the calories through the floor. That's it. Okay, it's going to matter way more when you start to try to get ripped. Then you got to hit a protein count that adheres to the day-to-day lifestyle you're running. So anyway, go to the grocery store. I got my calculator. I eat canned and packaged goods. So I don't got to count. I don't got to weigh out. I don't got to guess by, going on Google and there's a million different numbers for some sort of a food choice when you're cooking it up. Okay, a lot of people screw that up. They'll weigh they'll be cooking meat and they'll use the calories when it's raw. So the weight's not even close to the same. You always would measure it after it's cooked. Okay, you're going to screw everything up. Okay, then you don't know what's going on. And that being said, because of that, you're way more married to the scale, like your weight scale. Because you can't trust your calorie count as good as I can. I don't even weigh myself right now. I don't need to. Okay, I trust that calorie count. Okay, all I do is look in the mirror. I'll weigh myself like once every 2 weeks. Why? Why am I even doing that? Because I want to lose weight slower than hell right now. Okay, I could literally take 10 weeks and lose a pound a week. And what that creates is a situation, okay, we're talking about me right now. Okay, me. Okay, that creates a situation where I'm basically eating exactly now like I will be when I'm shred city. I'm already eating like I'm ripped. Okay, give or take a little bit of cardio there, maybe 100 calorie here, 100 calorie there. So I go into the store, I grab the protein. I grabbed the protein sources first, which was going to be what? Like packaged chicken breast, maybe packaged steak. I don't usually do the packaged steak too much right now because I like my protein sources to be lean. And I'll get to that. I'll get to why that is because I'm not even restricting the fat. I just care about the calorie count. I care about the calorie count and the protein count. The rest of the macros I just make up. I don't give a shit. I just go by feel. So I get the protein sources. So for example, I go in there, maybe I'm going to have chicken strips. So I figure out the calories on those chicken strips and I eyeball the protein count. It's like, okay, this is about 90 grams of protein in this pack of chicken strips and the calorie count's exactly 488 calories. So okay, throw it in the bag. In the bag, all right? And then I got my calculator figured it out. And those, for example, that chicken strip would be like 375 grams total. And the serving size is 100 grams. So it's not exactly 3 or 4 servings. It's different in the States on some of the shit. So what I got to do is go 375 grams divided by 100 grams, which obviously is easy math. It's like 3.75 servings times like whatever it was, 130 calories per serving. Okay, that's how I figured out the calorie count. Okay, exact, baby. There is no weighing nothing with a food scale, no nothing. Okay, I around lots counting calories. Man, I've counted calories for the better part of 15 years, man. All right? Canned goods is king. Because then you can trust your calorie count. And once you can trust your calorie count's accurate, now you can use that calorie count. And then you dial in your calories versus what your body weight's doing. And then you don't have to always be checking your weight to be like, is this working? Unless you're eating the exact same food every day. Okay, but I don't. I can do whatever I want, man. So I'll get like the chicken. And then maybe I'll go grab some zero-fat Greek yogurt or whatever I decide. Okay, whatever I decide for the next protein source. And like I said, once I walk out of the grocery store, I want to be around 200 grams of protein. Lately, I've been wrapping it up to 220. Okay? So I'll get the protein, and then once I have most of the 200 grams of protein in the bag, which is going to come from animal protein, from whatever, chicken, yogurt, lean meat, salmon, sardines, whatever the hell, right? Most of the protein is there in the bag. And let's say that takes up the total calorie count on that protein source is like 800 to 1,000 cal. I'll have the exact number because I got my calculator on me. Because I don't have my smartphone married to me like, oh, you and my calculator's worth like $5. So if I lose, I can leave my truck in the freezing cold and shit. Then what I do is I decide what I want to fill the rest of the calories up with that night. What do I feel like eating? Okay, what do I feel like eating? Is it going to be a night where I want some chocolate bars? Or do I want some stew? Or do I want some, it's all canned goods. Canned and packaged goods. Maybe I want a bag of frozen fruit. Okay, if it's frozen fruit, you got to take the total grams of the bag of frozen fruit, divided by the grams per serving, where I live, and then times that by the calories. Figure it out. Chocolate bar, it'll be right on there. Perfect chocolate bar. If it's one chocolate bar, it'll just be the calories per the whole bar. Easy peasy Japanesey, baby. It'll take you right to Shred City as long as you pick a calorie count that's not so aggressive. And I'm talking people that are already lean, trying to get ripped. Okay, the slower, the better the weight loss is in that sense. Super, all they need to do is fast all day, take advantage of a meal a day diet, don't force feed in that meal a day, still count the calories, and that's it. It's a joke. They don't gotta even do shit. They don't gotta do nothing. Okay, that's how I do it. Canned and packaged goods. I'm gonna tell you guys something. Oh yeah, my YouTube channel got monetized. Yay! Yay! They actually monetize like every video. Except I don't dare unlist those old videos because sure, the channel will be gone in 2 seconds. Okay, even though they're all monetized. That's how I do it. Okay, and here's the truth. I eat whatever the f*** I want, baby. Okay, this is how you get ripped. Eating whatever the f*** you want. And after you're already lean, then you can play. Then it's like, okay, you might have an outing. And you're going to be so good at eyeballing the food. Calorie, it's not just people, it's like, don't say that somebody's a calorie counter. Okay, they just know how to portion control. Instead of saying, oh, that person's in the calorie counting cult that works. It's not like your stupid diet cult. Calorie counting is real. It actually is measurable. It's measurable. Okay, it's not that that person is a calorie counter. It's that that person can count calories. They have a skill set you don't. Okay, once you're lean, you think you count every single calorie. You can eyeball it like a boss. And in fact, a lot of people that are good at counting calories will end up eyeballing on the low side all the time. They'll actually lose weight on the days they didn't count the calories exact because they were at an outing where it was just whatever was sitting there. Here's the problem. This word, now I'm hoping they don't ding me for this. There's a word that's not getting used enough now. With the diet dogma and the fear of eating this or not eating that or blah, 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 or you gotta do, anytime you're grossly restricting a macro for the wrong reasons because it's fear-based, anxiety-based. Like people, I'll show them I'm eating a chocolate bar and they're like, okay? The people that are anti-fat will be like, The people that are anti-sugar will be like, The people that are anti whatever's in the chocolate bar, You know why you're doing that? You know why there's all these stupid diet cults that are grabbing you? Because you're orthorexic. That's why. Okay, I'm only going to say that once in this video so I don't get dinged. That is why. Okay, your zero carb dogma, okay, that these carnivore MDs are making you scared to eating carbs. Okay, carnivore diet is ortho, baby. It's ortho. I'm not going to say the second half of the word. Figure it out. That's exactly the definition. Having crazy resistance against something. It's like people that try to eat so clean that they end up having an ED. That carnivore diet's an ED. Also, if you're doing some now I'm not going to say that a vegan diet is an ED. If you're just trying not to eat animal protein for that reason, I can't go as far as saying that's an ED, but it becomes an ED when you're only eating fruit because you don't trust something. Like you don't trust a can of beans in the store. Or you're worried about like every little thing. Oh, that's got a preservative. Oh, that's got this. You'll never get ripped. And you'll never get ripped with muscle. Ever. With that attitude. You won't do it. Like there's guys out there that have a purpose for yarding fat out of the diet to pull the calories down. Because fat's 9 calories a gram. So if that's an easier way for them to pull the calories down, that's not ortho. Okay, that's not an ED. But if they're doing it because some cult is scaring them from the fat because of this, that, and the other, then they're orthorexic. So this is the beauty of what I'm telling you how to get ripped here. Eat whatever the fuck you want. I'm using canned goods, which that's so triggering because people will be like, that's canned, that's got this, that's got that. Okay, that's got sodium. And like the sodium, you need the sodium. Okay, that's got preservatives, that's got fat, that's got carbs. Plants are trying to kill ya. Okay, Anthony Chafee, unless either he's orthorexic himself or he's just turning you into that with fear. All these zero carbers and even all of them. Anybody that's grossly restricting a macro for reasons other than it's an easy way for them to yard the calories down. Period. You have an ED. The one thing that's not an ED, because there's an actual purpose for it, is counting the calories. Because you're counting the calories to try to lose weight. You're counting the calories to try to learn portion control because you're so disconnected from nature that that's the only way you can get back. It's like a reset. It's like a calorie reset. You start counting the calories and you can see right away, holy shit, like a pig. Like women that think they're going to like get lean on like 2,000 calories a day are insane. Unless you're doing like 1,500 calories worth of cardio, 1,000 calories worth of cardio. Okay, there's the odd outlier that's doing that kind of cardio volume and then selling it like it's their magic diet. It ain't shit. Okay, I'm proving it right again here right now. And I'll make no mistake, there'll be nights once I get down there a little leaner because I don't trust the calorie count at McDonald's when it comes to like fries and even the burgers. If they put a little bit more oil on them and shit when they squirt the mayonnaise on, it's not as accurate as the canned goods. But once I'm lean, I'll go to McDonald's and I'll count the calories like a hawk. What I would do in that situation, if I was going to McDonald's trying to hold a 2,000 calorie a day diet, I would definitely veer under by 200. So what I would do if I was going through McDonald's, I'd be like, I'm going to count out 1,800. Just to be sure that I'm definitely under $2,000. And to get the protein up at McDonald's, I'd go with the chicken breasts. Because I'm not orthorexic. That's what this is. That's what this is. Okay, it just dawned on me this morning. I was going to the gym and I'm like, man, all these cults and because I'm sitting there, I was taking a look at the comments on my I'm like, geez, these people are ortho. Okay, I already said it a million times now. You're orthorexic. Okay, you have gross fear and anxiety of certain macros. Gross fear and anxiety of certain macros. Like how many people are scared to death even of protein? How many people are scared to death of fat? Tons. Protein, tons. How many people are scared to death of sugar? Tons. How many people are too lazy to count the calories? Tons. How many people are scared to death of like some minuscule amount of something in like something that's packaged or processed? Everybody, you're weak. I'm telling you right now, you want to get ripped? Okay, you get, man, I love this shit. Okay, I am so back, baby. I am so, man, my diet right now, I'm getting leaner and leaner. I haven't even been weighing myself like I said. I don't need to. I just ride that 2K. Okay, ride 2K until I feel like I'm actually stalling out. And then I'll take a look at the scale and I'll be like, okay, either I'll wrap the cardio up a little bit. I'll start throwing in like maybe 300 calories of cardio. 300 calories of lazy cardio. And I'll just keep running that 2K or just under. Or I'll pull it down to 1,900. The chances are summer's coming now. And what'll happen is I'll end up like, well, if I was eating like the way I am right now and I was throwing a bike ride in, during the day, I'd be losing like weight like too fast. I don't want to lose weight fast. Okay, literally, I want to lose it as slow as I can. Okay, as slow as I can, and then when I get down to where I'm shredded, then what I'll do is I'll just try to recomp like a at a lean body weight. Show people that you can literally recomp at a lean body weight, and you don't have to do some stupid bulk. You can't beat the canned goods. It's impossible. It's too accurate. It's too accurate. Only thing I care about, like I said, is the calorie count. Overarching calorie count is going to dictate the weight loss, and the protein count to dictate the body composition and hold on to muscle. Okay, if you're running some crazy lame brain orthorexic diet that's got like zero protein, like for example straight sugar, you're going to look just skinny. Okay, you're not shredded. You're just going to look skinny, weak and skinny. Okay, I know that for a fact because that was the whole thing. For the super, they could run that for a while because they're so fat. You just eat anything as long as calories are low. But when you start getting down where you're nickel and diming body fat, you can't just run straight carbohydrate with no protein, you nuts. Nobody that has any sort of brain that's trying to keep muscle in their body is eating a vegan diet that looks like that. Nobody. Okay, you look like shit. Okay, you're weak. Okay, and then you got people that are just straight up stall city because you got some of these every carnivore MD telling a woman to eat like 2,500 calories with a ribeye a day. Have fun losing weight on that. Have fun getting to anything remotely close to a sexy ass body weight on that. You ain't doing it. You know what's funny? There's only been one woman I've seen. One woman. And one woman that was almost 500 pounds that actually got down to like 150 pounds. Okay, I can't recall her name this second. I was just talking about her with somebody else yesterday. This woman got lean from 500 down to basically 150 pounds. Oh, fat girl fed up. Fat girl fed up. Got from 500 pounds basically down to like 150 pounds, count fun calories. No woman has gotten from super fat to actually slim on anything other than something that looks like that. That is it. Count calories, baby. Okay, what's your calorie count? Okay, and a lot of you women, you're not, like, you guys are tapping 2,000 calories and shit. You're in a surplus on 2K fat. Okay, you better be a big-ass woman to even be losing weight on 1,600. You better be big-ass woman. You're not getting slim on 16. Give me a break. You know what's actually funny? I get quite a few ex-bikini competitors get a hold of me. And they were competing in bikinis, say, like 10 years ago. And now they're soggy. They're fluffy and soggy. And literally, they are so... They already know what gets you lean. They did it. But now they're looking for a shortcut. It's like, well, what did your calorie count look like when you got on stage, bitch? And it's like, oh, I was eating 1,200 and doing an hour on the stair climber a day. Well, if what you're doing then got you that result, if you're not doing something similar to that now, you're not gonna get to that place where you were because they're always trying to chase that again, that body. But they don't want to put in the work. Because you know why? The only reason they put in the work back then, because they knew they had to get up on stage and they didn't want to look like a Sorry. Okay, like if you're a woman and your average height, you better like warm up to that idea. You're going to be eating like 1,000, 1,200 calorie a day diet for the rest of your life, which isn't even hard. Okay, unless you're living in a place where you're logging a pile of cardio. Now, if you're going for a bike ride a day, if you're going for an hour bike ride every day, that's going to be like an easy 500-600 calories burned right there. So obviously, you're going to be able to eat more and stay just as lean. Okay, what I like to do, I like to cut on the lowest amount of cardio possible. Okay, I like to cut on the lowest amount of cardio possible. I've always done this. Okay, why? Because when I was powerlifting, like back in like the mid 2000, like 2008, 2009, I didn't want to do any cardio on the cut because I would screw around with my muscle. Like I wanted to be so strong. I wanted to keep the calories to a point where I could just have full recovery on the lifts. So I was training pretty low volume, like next to no cardio. And how do I get lean to make low weight classes doing that? I got to yard the calories down. Keep the protein cranked up. When I say keep the protein cranked up, what am I hitting at a really lean body weight? For me, it's going to be different. There's going to be guys out there you're going to listen to that are hitting like that 0.7, 0.8 gram per pound of ripped ass body weight. It all depends what kind of training you're doing. It all depends. But at the end of the day, the calorie count across the board is almost the same. You get a guy my size that's 8% body fat, living pretty normal life, a pretty normal cardio, unless if he's a cardio rat, and especially if he's competing in cardio rat sports, it's different. But if you take a guy that's my size, he's going to be 8% body fat. Even I probably do actually more general activity than most guys in the summer for sure. Okay, I still swim and just for fun. But a lot of guys my size, they're not getting ripped on anything that's like, it's going to be based on the cardio again. It's going to be somewhere probably between like 1,800 and 2,400 calorie a day. Okay, women, like those numbers, man, women need to warm up to a 1,200 calorie a day diet as a baseline. As a baseline, not necessarily saying that you wouldn't be slim on 1,400 or 15, but as a baseline starting point, 12. Okay, I got a lot of women that are getting a hold of me right now because now I'm getting some people that actually want to make an effort. Okay, I'm already getting more calls. Okay, I got women that are like 5'2", 5'1". I'm starting them on a 1,000 calorie a day diet. I tell them don't change your cardio or nothing. They're not even doing any cardio in the first place. 1,000 cal. What's that going to look like? It's pretty simple. It's not that hard to hit when you're fasting all day. Okay, fast all day. You get in some snake juice salts. And then you push that fast and you eat 1,000 cal maximum. And you hit a protein count that's reasonable. And these are women that brought like maybe 20 pounds to drop 30 pounds. But here's one thing I'll tell you too. Okay, any diet that a woman's using to get shredded on or a man's using to get shredded on, that same diet will get a super fat pig shredded as well. It's just not going to be as fast, especially if the fat pig can run the calories way lower. For example, my diet right now at 2,000 calories, 5'7", whatever I'll end up being like 8% body fat at probably like low 160s. That is my exact diet right now, 2,000 calories or less with my protein count. It doesn't matter if you weighed, say if it was me, let's just use me. It doesn't matter if I weighed 190, 200, 300, 500 pounds. If I was 500 pounds, that same diet's going to get me ripped. But now what would happen though at 300, 400, 500 pounds, I wouldn't even want to eat that much. So why would I force in 2,000 calories if I weighed 300 pounds when I could get away with $1,000? That's a perfect example of what I keep getting at with people that keep asking me, why'd you say protein didn't matter? Because I was talking to you. Okay? Think of it as me. So me, okay, 8% body fat ripped, mid to low 160s. That same basic diet will get me there from any body weight that I potentially could have be at. 200 pounds, 300 pounds, 400 pounds, 1,000 pounds. Same diet. No, but if you're super heavy, you don't gotta run. Why would you force in $2,000 when you're not even hungry because your hunger hormones level out and it's like, geez, this guy's got crazy amounts of body fat. You're not even gonna be hungry. Most super fat guys, they fasted all day. They're not gonna want to even eat what I eat right now because there's no hunger. You only start getting hungry and you start getting lean. This goes same for the women. Okay, for the women, a woman that would get lean on, like, say, 1,000 cal. That 1,000 cal is going to work all the way if she weighed 500 pounds or 200 pounds. It's going to get her down to lean. But the thing is, the really fat woman version of that woman, if she is not, so pretend she was 500. She might not even want the 1,000. Okay, she'll be full, especially if she's doing OMAD, man. She may eat like 500 cal done. I'm seeing that left and right. That's why I got to make sure I tell some of these women that get a hold of me, if they're short women, and they settle into OMAD. So even right there, OMAD. Let's talk about OMAD for a minute. Okay, that's a tactic I use to make it easy to drive the calories down. Because I'm going to tell you right now, my 2,000 cal a day diet right now, you know how hard that would be for me to sustain if I was eating 3 meals a day? I wouldn't be able to do it. I wouldn't be able to do it. Okay, if I was breaking that up into what? 666 calorie meals, all right? I would not be able to hold on to 2,000 calorie a day without wanting to eat more if I was doing 3 squares. There's no magic. If I was able to eat 3 squares like that, I'd get the same result as if I was just eating the food later in the day. But I wouldn't be able to hold on to that routine. It wouldn't work. It wouldn't work because specifically because the evening meal's just too small. I'd be going to bed starving to death. It wouldn't work. That's the power of the fasting. It allows me to yard the calories lower. And in fact, if I wanted to, I could yard the calories down to like 1,700 right now the way I do it. Imagine trying to eat 1,700 in 3 meals a day. There's no way I'd sustain that shit. No way in. So that being said, I'll have women right now that when they fast all day and I tell them, like, don't go over 1,000 cal. So I have to make sure I say that and say it more than once because they'll try to hit 1,000 calorie and it'll end up being force feeding. Because they're still fat enough that they're just good on like 700. So take advantage of it. Well, if you're not hungry, don't eat. If you're only hungry for 500, eat the 500, don't eat more. That's the power of the fasting. It allows you to run the calories right through the floor. And then and this is the other thing. I'm going to talk about the protein for a sec. So protein is going to be a lot to do with preference. So for example, do you think especially right now, do you think I need 200 grams of protein to keep my muscle on? No. Okay? The day before yesterday, I was like at over 220. Do you think I need 220 grams of protein to keep my muscle on, right? Especially at this level, this stage of this cut? No. But it allows me to eat the 2,000 calories or less like it's a joke. Just a little bit more protein. It's not just about the science. It's not just about the science saying that, I probably don't need more than 0.8 grams per pound of body weight or whatever. It's not just about that. It's about the calories are overarching the most important thing. So if I need more protein in my diet because that works for me to run the calories under 2 grand to get shredded, that's what I'll do. There's guys maybe that want to run like 120, 130 gram of protein. And that works for them. But their calorie count's still going to be overarching the most important thing. Okay, it could even be my twin brother, let's say. Let's say my twin brother's training just a little bit different than me. And he just feels like he's good on like 140 gram of protein. And he makes the rest of the 2,000 calories up with fat and carbs, whatever the hell he wants. And I'm like, I tried 140. I just feel like I can hold that calorie count better on like 200. And that's it. And maybe he's my twin brother and the training's just a little bit different. Okay, maybe he weight trains just a little bit more volume than me, which doesn't really burn any more calories. It's just more volume. So then, maybe I train more volume than him. Maybe he runs that lower protein count. That part's preference, as long as it's not so low that you're turning into a skinny fish. All right? That's the difference. Okay, there is a minimum that you're going to want to hit when you're trying to get shredded. And your body will tell you. Okay, you don't even have to worry about lame brain doctors and experts and shit throwing a protein count down your throat. Like I tell you 200, 220 for me, that's me. Okay, you play. Okay, ideally, you should probably play with the lower end and then bump it up from there. Because if you feel good on the lower end, it's going to allow you to fill the other calories up with a lot of whatever the fuck you want, basically. Okay, but for me, the protein being like 40 to 50% of those total calories works the best. And I'll tell you right now, if the calories got to drop more, I don't need to ever drop the calories more than I got them at. As long as if I'm willing to wrap the cardio up just a little bit, I don't have to pull my calories lower than like 1900. Okay, I've done this enough times. But this time is different in the sense that the canned goods, I've never cut on canned goods like this. This makes it a joke. Because I trust the calorie count because it's so accurate. I don't even have to fuck around with the scale because the scale can fuck with you, especially if you're cutting slow. Okay, all I want to do is see like a 1.5 pound, 2 pound drop every 7 to 10 days. Now that being said, also, if you trust your calories, the scale can massively fuck with you. Okay, if your calories, this is why sometimes the scale can almost enable you to actually eat like because you might have a drop in weight, but you just drop some water and then you end up just eating more, even though it was just a water drop. You think it's like a fat loss drop, so you fuck around with your calorie count and raise it up or eat more. Imagine you had no scale. Let's say you're a man and you're really fat and you had no scale. That would make you hold the calorie count like a hawk because you have to trust the calorie count more because you have no scale to see what's happening. Okay, and I'll tell you this. Super fat people have the capacity to hold a shitload of water. Okay, so if that's where the scale can mess with them, even if the calorie count's good across the board, you need your salts, especially when you're dropping fast. But if they have one bad day where they didn't count shit and they know they were in a surplus and the weight takes a bounce up, a lot of it's not to do with the little bit of extra calories they ate if they had a bad day. It's to do with all the fucking salt that they got in with that meal that was, especially if they were depleted on salt before because they're not getting enough fucking snake juice in when they're running the calories low. Like, do you have any idea how much water a fat pig could actually hold? If they're fat enough, I'll tell you how much. I could bloat. If I had a fat man that was like, say, 450 pounds, and he's running like 1,000 cal a day, and he's getting into snake juice salts, but he's running like this massive deficit, so he's dropping salt like crazy. He's probably in ketosis a big part of the time, eating whatever the fuck he wants, carbs and everything. If this guy went and pounded in a crazy amount of salt, and maybe had salt water and he was guzzling it, I could get a fat guy that's like 450, that's depleted at 450, I could get him up to 500 pounds, no shit, in like 24 hours. That's how much water some of these will hold if they have a up on the food and it's really just a bunch of salt and they drank a whack of fluid. That's how they throw on so much water. That's how the scale will fuck with them. That's why I recommend, this is why this whole changes. I used to recommend weigh yourself daily. Because why is a lot of the reason was because you're counting the calories. Now, if you're counting the calories like a hawk and you have a starting calorie count, you get a hold of me for coaching, Cole Robinson, Facebook, Snake Eye Wizard, Instagram, and we calculate an excellent starting calorie count where you know you're losing body fat. You can throw that scale out the window. That's where, especially for fat people, because their water swings so badly. Because if they're low on salt, so what they think they had, like, let's say they didn't even have a bad up. Let's say all week they were running like 1,000 a day. It's some fat guy. And he's running 1,000 a day like clockwork, canned goods. Then all of a sudden on Saturday, he's like just a bit and has some shit that he couldn't count. And the calories are a little bit higher, but not crazy. He might even still been in a deficit. Let's say he's at like 2,500. He's a 450-pound dude. Problem is, he probably got in a pile. He's probably depleted on his salt because he's not getting enough snake juice in when he's on that massive deficit. And then what he ends up doing is he goes and eats and he gets a pile of salt in and drinks a pile of fluid and his weight like bounces up like crazy, even though he wasn't in a huge surplus on the calories. Because fat people have the capacity to hold a whack of water. I'm not even joking you. You know how I know a super could put on 50 pounds of water in one day? 50 pounds of water. I could get, if they're depleted, so they're on 1,000 cal a day, and it's a fat man, and he's depleted somewhat because his salts are a little bit raggedy low because he's not getting enough salt in for how fast he's losing weight. If that fat ate low-calorie foods, like I'm talking cucumbers, like just drenched in salt, a pile of pickles, and he did it slow enough that he didn't get diarrhea, which normally they'd be having some dirty food with a lot of salt, and he drank a pile of fluid, even if the calories weren't even crazy high, I could get a fat man up 50 pounds in one fucking day. 50. You know how I know? Because I bloated myself up, not even shitting you, like literally 25 pounds in like 10 hours one time with like 20,000 milligrams of sodium. Okay? That's how I know. That's how bad. So now, count the calories. Because if you up and you're being a lazy son of a bitch on your calorie count and your weight takes an uptick, like a good uptick, then you can just blame yourself that you didn't count those calories because it's probably mainly a bunch of sodium and shit that you just were, because you're somewhat depleted, that you gained weight. And then what's that do? That makes you up and go full tilt binge mode. You don't have to weigh yourself more than once a fucking week, fat, if you're counting your calories like a hawk and you're religious about it. Religious! The calorie accuracy is hit. There's no denying it. Anybody that says different is chances are they have orthorexia. Because they're just trying to get you to eat their stupid orthorexic diet. Okay, carnivore diet's just a form of orthorexia. It's orthorexic. If you're scared to death of carbs, you're orthorexic. Okay, I hope to God this video doesn't get you're orthorexic. Anybody that's on somebody that's getting lean, eating whatever the they want because they're not following their dietary guidelines as far as don't eat this, don't eat that, this is poison, blah, blah, blah. You're an orthorexic. You got an ED. You have an ED. ED City, baby. ED City. The most extreme people I see it with are zero-carb carnivores and zero-fat vegans. Zero-fat vegans, zero-carb carnivores. Okay, orthorexia city. Orthorexia mother city. Orthorexics are trying to kill ya. That's why I love this shit, baby. Because I'm going to get so ripped eating canned goods, it's going to blow your mind. And I'm eating everything and anything, plus canned, which even that is a no-no. So I'm eating canned goods. I'm eating meat. Fuck, some of it's processed. Okay, salt, sugar, fat, chocolate, vegetables. I eat whatever the fuck I want. And that's why the adherence is so high. That's why the adherence is so high. Soon as you let go of your stupid food dogma bull, and all you focus on is the calorie count, if you're really fat, just the calorie count. If you start getting shredded calorie count, protein count, fill up those other macros with whatever you want, you're going to get right to shred city and have muscle coming out of your ass. And you're going to beat every health issue you got on those kinds of foods because weight loss is king of health. That's why I don't even want to talk about health. Because you know what? Most people that get a hold of me, I got this health issue. I got that health issue. You're just a fat pig. Lose weight eating canned goods to count the calories, you lazy motherfucker. I just saw a question pop up there. Okay, does it show that you can make donations, you cheap pigs? Okay, I'm monetized now, baby. How do you figure out a good starting calorie count? Go low. I recommend take your height, go to a BMI chart. Take your height, go to a BMI chart. Use the lowest BMI, low end of normal, which is 18.5 for women. What does that spit out for a weight at your height? Not saying you got to necessarily get to that weight. Just we're going to use that number. Okay, 18.5 BMI, fat pig. 18.5 BMI, pig. Okay, if you're a woman, what's your height? So I think, for example, at 5'3", I believe an 18.5 BMI is like 107 pounds, which is pretty good, which is pretty normal if you're not a fat. You use that weight that lines up with your height and an 18.5 BMI. You put it into a BMR calculator, and a good starting point would be either using the BMR itself, that calorie count, or if you feel like you have getting any steps at all in a day, use the next one, which would be the one that says sedentary. So right now, the calorie count I'm using is the one that's literally a goal weight of me at 160, which is shredded. I don't even expect to get to 160. I'm using a lower number than I even expect to even get to because I'm pretty sure we'll see. Because I know when I am at 163, 162, like shit like this, but I use 160 for my weight, okay, which is me going to be the high end of normal, but I know a weight. I just told you guys how to get a weight. I know a weight for me. Okay, I'm not fucking delusional thinking that I'm like some 5'7" dude that should be like ripped at 180. Okay, or 200. If you're fucking ripped and you're 5'7" and you're like 100, you're 200 pounds, you're in gear for sure. Sometimes you get a freak outlier that might be ripped at 5'7", 5'6" at 180. Like Chris Jones, okay, who's drug-free 100%, but he's just got freaky genetics. Okay, short, stocky, black guy genetics. All right, and the way he trains is very specific for hypertrophy. He's a fucking bodybuilder. All right, so I use 160 for my weight, and my calorie count is actually 1,895 would be the calorie count where it says sedentary. Okay, at 160, my BMR is 1,579. So I'm basically right around, like you see my numbers, I'm posting the videos up. What am I, 1920 or 1,932 calories yesterday, blah, 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 blah. And my activity is definitely higher than that sedentary activity level, hands down. Okay, I always veer to the low side, but it's not so low that I'm going to be, like, literally can't hold it. But that's the beauty of the intermittent fasting and OMAD. Okay, and if you get so lean that when you're eating a meal a day at night, that you have to cram food to keep weight on because you're so ripped, listen to my protocol, then you open up the eating window and eat twice. Like, that's a good problem to have. You're ripped. Play. Okay, I'm telling you guys, this is the problem with the whole diet industry right now. Everybody tries to scare you and misdirect you into chasing their stupid diet, and it just gets you away from the whole reason why you're trying to diet in the first place, to lose weight. They're like, don't eat this, don't eat that. This is trying to kill you. Shut the up. Count the calories, bitch. Eat something you can count. If you can't count it, if you can't count it with perfect accuracy, don't eat it. And once you're ripped, you can play. Like, let's say you're shredded as all right? And it's Christmas Day dinner. Okay, and you end up going for Christmas dinner. Now, because you're so good at eyeballing foods from counting, Christmas Day dinner, you might end up being under. Chances are you might be over, but it'll be so little, it won't even matter. Because you're just back right on your normal diet where you're not restricted any food choices. Okay? And you fast all day. You always have that advantage. Okay? And you got to remember, there's people in my comments too. They'll be like, OMAD. Okay? OMAD, 1 meal a day. If you aren't losing weight eating 1 meal a day, you're eating too many calories. Because I'll see guys that are like, I just did OMAD and I lost like 100 pounds. That's great. But how much do you weigh now? Like, what's your how lean are you? Okay, like for example, if you're 350 and you just did OMAD, now you're 250 and you're 5'6". Yeah, great. You lost 100 pounds. Nah, now you got another 100 to lose, me fat pig. Okay, lean. And the only time you can truly trust that a lot of your health issues are going to be gone is when you get ripped. Okay, liver, get ripped, bitch. Okay, fat women with breast tumors, get ripped, bitch. Sleep is critical when it comes to the C word. All right? Fibroids, ovarian, all this shit. Get lean, bitch. Okay, what else? Oh, cataracts. Get ripped, bitch. Okay, all of it. Plaque buildup in your arteries. Get ripped, bitch. Okay, one of the fastest ways you're going to get rid of arterial plaque is get ripped. Like ripped. Not 20 over. Especially if you've been eating a high animal fat carnivore diet. See, I'll tell you guys one thing too. Most of the fat in my diet right now is not coming from straight saturated fat. Like I told you guys, the way I like to do it is go with lean protein sources. And then the fat that I do take in to not go over my 2,000 calories is the fat that be in the dessert type foods, like the chocolate. Why would I waste fat calories on meat? Like, get real. Okay, why the fuck would I do that? Okay, like, can you imagine how nice of a meal you can make? If you imagine you're eating imagine there's a guy eating 800 grams of ribeye. Okay, imagine there's a guy eating 800 grams of ribeye, which is like 2,400 calories of ribeye. That's literally what Sean Dadbod Baker's telling women to eat. 2 pounds of ribeye. Have fun losing weight on that, bitch. Yeah. What's basically that's 2,400 calories. You ain't getting nowhere. Yeah, if you're a 700-pound pig like that woman that they're propping up, yeah, you can get from 700 pounds down to 300. Then you're stalled the out. Okay, you still got 100. Shit, at 300 pounds, a woman still got 160 pounds to lose. 100, probably 180. But she'd have loose skin, so I'll give her the benefit of the doubt. These guys are, it's not her fault. These guys are rip-off pieces of shit is what they are. Orthorexic. Okay? So you got you got 2 stupid ribeyes, and you're like at 2,400 calorie, and if you just went with a leaner meat source, you can hit the same amount of protein as those 2 ribeyes, which a ballpark's gonna be 200 grams of protein. I could literally bring it down to 2,000 calories. If I picked other protein sources than those ribeyes, it's a protein source, the ribeye, but it's not protein. It's all fat. It's all fat. Okay, like literally, a 400-gram ribeye steak has 400 calories of the protein in it and 800 calories of the fat. How the fuck is that protein? It's not. It's not. It's fat. It's a fat source is what it is. Imagine how good you can make that meal. You lean out that protein. You can even bring it down 400 calories, but let's just make it equal calories. 2,400 calories. You can lean it out, still getting 200 grams of protein if you're a ripped dude that's pretty big at 2,400 cal a day. And you can fill the other calories up with all sorts of shit. Okay, especially if you go with really lean protein, you might maybe you'd be at like maybe from the protein sources, like the meat protein sources, you might be at like 800 to 1,000 calories from the protein sources, the animal-based stuff. And now you got another 1,400 calories you can with. Okay, like you literally get like whatever you want. You get fruit, chocolate. Okay, you can like have whatever you want. You get fruit, chocolate, you go to 7-Eleven, you get Slurpee, and you got to be able to count it though. Okay, you get a bag of candy with it. Okay, you get some vegetables. God forbid. No one can fuck with this. No one can fuck with a calorie count, especially when you're counting this accurate. The accuracy will get you ripped, and then you play. You play down the road once you're fucking ripped. Okay, do you even baker? I bust bakers out. Okay, you know what? Like, some of these people are such grifters. Baker's probably one of the ones that's one of the better ones. The pieces of that are saying vegetables are trying to kill you. And the ones that won't even tell women why they lose their period on their low-carb orthorexic. Then behind the scenes, they'll tell the woman to eat chocolate and some nuts to get their period back. Crazy. Because they're full of shit. Weight loss is health. So if you think in your head that I want to lose weight, but I want to also be healthy, nah. Weight loss and health go hand in hand. Just lose weight, bitch. You can do it on McDonald's. What I would do if I went to McDonald's for real, I'd want to hit my protein count. Like, if I wanted to enjoy some McDonald's, you could literally go and get like a zero-fat tub of Greek yogurt. Okay? At like what? Like 400 cal. Smash that in. Now your hunger's gone. Then go to McDonald's, because now you already got like 80 or 90 grams of protein, like I'm saying for me. Okay, you already got like 80, 90 grams of protein in. Then you go to McDonald's and get burger and fries. And got like, man. And then you also grab like a can of peas and carrots from the store to throw into your McDonald's meal to get some fiber from vegetables. You can eat whatever the you want, man. Ripped. Ripped. With muscle. With muscle. Not like these flopping zero protein fruit vegans. Okay, like you can't hold on to muscle on rice and fruit. You'll be weak as these guys wouldn't last a day in this hellhole that I live in when it's winter. You nuts. Nobody that's eating just straight carbohydrate out here. Have fun. You'd be dead. Okay, we're not dogmatic to any food here in Snake Diet Land, baby. We're not dogmatic to anything except too many calories. Too many calories are trying to kill ya. Calories are trying to kill ya. That's the truth. Too many calories is trying to kill ya. You the only thing that matters is the calories. This guy just said, Budge 1721 said, 40 McNuggets, 660 cal, perfect. Okay, so you're at, if I was eating 660, so that would allow me like another 340. Okay, that's the one problem I have right now. The macros at McDonald's aren't quite good enough for my goal right now, all right? But if you're a super fat pig, all that matters is calorie count. All that matters is a calorie count, bitch. Calories are trying to kill ya. Tell Chafee that. Out of all of them, that guy is the worst, probably out of the men. Him and he's the worst. He is a scammer. He scrubs his thumbnails. Like, man. And then the thing is, these well, they're not even eating their stupid zero-carb diet behind the scenes. That's the whole problem. They're not even doing it. You can't trust these. You can't trust anybody that is pushing an orthorexic dieting strategy. Okay, go put that in their comments. Anything that is dogmatic to especially a macro. Like, I can see people trying to maybe stay away from some stuff that's just blatantly. Like, maybe it's like, you're not going to say that somebody that doesn't want to smoke cigarettes is orthorexic, let's say. Okay, maybe cigarettes are actually trying to kill you. Hey, like, but they're not trying to kill you more than calories, I'll tell you that. Some lean dude will live longer that smokes like a chimney than somebody's a fat pig. Okay, like, these people are full of shit. Okay, they don't even eat the way they talk about, and that's the one thing. When they eat, see, this is why you can trust somebody that's saying you can eat whatever the fuck you want and lose the weight. Because the problem is, as soon as the food choices get so strict that the people pushing that on you, they're trying to make it sound like that's the only way to eat. You know that when it's that strict, they're not doing it. They're falling off more than the people they're trying to tell do it. They're falling off. Okay, the only way you won't fall off it is you gotta be orthorexic. There's a reason some of those fruit vegans literally get so skinny they're dead. Because they're orthorexic as okay, they got psychological problems, all right? They're mental health issues. It's no different than a zero-carb carnivore that stays on it so long because, and not all these people started out orthorexic. It would have been just constant from guys like Anthony Chafee, guys like Ken Berry. You're carnivore MDs. Give me a break. MD of what? MD of medical doctor of it's okay, you know what's I see more guys, if you get out of your little bubble, there's more guys on YouTube that are shredded, counting calories, eating only fast food, and way healthier than your stupid carnivore MDs. Like, who's that other guy, man, that runs his mouth too that's anti-carb? That Suez guy. Suez? Okay, he started blowing up because he's pushing zero carb. Fucking fatter than that guy's a fat. Okay, Barry, Ken Dadbot Barry's got a turtle shell for a gut. Okay, Anthony Chaffee's got literally scrubs his pictures for his thumbnails. Tries to make himself look like he's got 10-pack abs. Suck his. Okay, then you got Baker, whose genetics save his ass because he's so big. He holds fat probably better than most anybody you ever met in your life because he's like 6'10". He's like a gorilla. Okay, but he can't get lean for his life. He doesn't need to be no 260. Get real, 260? Okay, he could easily be muscled up to the nuts at like 230, 225. Okay? Soggy bottom boys, baby. And then you got that other steak and butter. Like this, man, this girl will show you like a plate that has like a bazillion calories on it. And you know, well, the bitch ain't eating shit. Now, she's orthorexic as you know, a sign of orthorexia is usually people that'll gravitate to it would have had like some sort of maybe a gut problem or something like this. And then they got convinced that, oh, that's it. Like, you know, like, for example, like, what do you call it? Like some of these words that get thrown around with some of these sicknesses. What's the one? Candida paranoia. Okay, that's like orthorexia, bar none. Okay, it's like, oh, I can't eat that. Because they're listening to all these fucking scam artists trying to sell them their candida cleanses and shit. Right off. Right off. Okay, and then you know what the part is? Like, then I run into one of my old buddies, drinks like a fish, smokes like a chimney, eats piles of whatever junk, and his gut health is perfect, digestion perfect, takes a perfect like fuck. These are the people that are most unhealthy. It's because it starts up here. They're so man, and it starts because it's the internet. Again, it goes back to me telling you you're a fucking cell phone addict, smartphone addict. Listen to all this. Man, what I'm telling you to do now is gold. Because no one can fuck with it. Because just give me 6, 8, 10 weeks. I'm going to be ripped. Okay? Ripped to shreds eating canned goods. Then after that, you play. But the canned goods you can count. It's more important that you can count those calories than what you're eating. Because weight loss is king. Calories are trying to kill you. Tell that. Okay, that's another guy. He's a scammer. Go buy his book. Okay, I'm not a writer. It's too bad. If I was, I'd write a book called Calories Are Trying to Kill You. Okay, and it would be a bestseller. Everybody'd be like, what the fuck's this book? I ain't losing shit. I can't get ripped like this. Cole Robinson eating canned goods. And all he's doing is count calories. Calories is all that matters. Get it as low as you can. How are you going to do that? Meal a day. 1 meal a day diet. No magic, just a way to restrict the fucking calories. Once you start getting lean, you start wrapping up that protein. But getting lean isn't just like, oh, I'm 400 pounds, now I'm getting lean at 300. You only start getting lean when you're already getting lean, basically. Okay? People are so because it's just deep brainwashing and fear dogma. You can't watch one video of Baker Chafee's like he's the worst. All these. You can't watch one video where they don't shit on vegetables. Like my Baker, he actually made a video saying potatoes are trying to kill you. What a scam artist. And he's not even as bad as Chafee. That's some dangerous shit. When you got guys like Ken Berry that's got like multi-million followers, let's do his I gotta bring this back to reality, man. Okay? Bring her back to reality. You know how many of you guys' gut problems would go away? You know how many guys have gut problems now because they're listening to these apps? Because you cut all the fiber out of your diet like an idiot? Did you see what I had last night? What did I have last night? I had chicken strips. I had salmon. I had a can of sardines. I had a can of beans medley with fiber. I had a chocolate bar. How great is that? Felt like $1 million. Slept like a fucking baby. Okay, slept like a baby. Okay, wasn't pissing all night because I'm fat phobic and eating just fruit and wet starch later in the day. That'll make you piss all fucking night. One of these nights I'll really troll you out. I'll get protein. I'll polish her off with a bag of Doritos. The ones that you can't get in the States. The cheese and the heavy cheese ones. Okay, I can't get the big bag though because the big bag is 2,000 calories. So if I got the big bag of Doritos, that'd be my whole dinner. Yeah, that'd be my whole dinner and the protein's like 0. Which is not what I want right now. Okay, but I could get a small bag of Doritos and fit her right in. Okay, I get like a bag, I could get half of that. I could actually get lean enough protein. This is why I love the lean protein. This is how I do it. I don't waste my protein with a bunch of fat with it. Lean protein, I could probably hit like 800 calories and hit my protein count. maybe just to troll you guys that day, maybe I'd bring my protein count down just a little bit just so I could fit in more junk. So let's say I go with the gram per pound of ripped body weight at 160. And let's say the meat sources or whatever that I add up is like 800, 1,200 calories worth of chips. Okay, I get a half a bag of Doritos. The smaller one, I'm guessing it would be like half of that big one, or maybe if it's less than half. If one of them is whatever grammage, you just look at the small one. Just count the calories. Just count the calories, man. And you know what? If you're trying hard with this, because I see women, some of these women are like, they're trying to count the calories. Okay, they're trying to, but the calorie count they're trying to hold is way too high. And then they still have a up. It's like they're trying to hold like 1,600. Have fun getting slim on that, unless you're doing a pile of stair climbing. And then they'll have a up day where they don't even count it and they just guess, oh, I was probably at 2,000. That's what I eat, for fuck's sakes. You're little. Okay, I'm little. You're way littler than me. Are you nuts? Okay, if you're a woman, you should be hitting a 1,000. You should be like trying to hold 1,000 or 1,200, especially if there's no cardio. And if you're really fat and you're not even hungry, you eat as little. You eat whatever on OMAD. You just eat and you're done. If it ends up being 500, if it ends up being 400, who cares? Go to bed. Tomorrow's a new day, fat. Tomorrow's a new day, fat. Okay, this is the real information people want to hear. They want to hear, how do I get ripped eating whatever the I want? There's only one way to do it. You got to count the calories accurately. Okay, there's only one way to do it. There's only one way to do it and also, because you're counting the calories, like I said, when you start getting ripped, the protein matters. Obviously, if you're counting the calories, you're going to see the protein grammage in there pretty close. Okay, so somebody that's getting all skinny and shit, just eating fruit and losing all their muscle, like there's no fucking protein. There's no protein. Now, if you're super fat, it doesn't matter. Okay, I've had people cutting like crazy just on potatoes. So you're 500 pounds. Shit, even if you're 300 pounds. Shit, even if you're 200 pounds. If you're a woman, that should be 110. Now, if you're some fat dude or a woman, a fat woman or a fat dude, or if you're really fat, your focus should be just drive those calories to the fucking floor. But if you're fat and you want to start pumping some iron and shit, let's say you're a dude and you're like 250 and you should be like 180, but you do want to pump iron, and that's good if you want to go to the gym and it changes your environment, because we know environment, how it's so important actually helping you run the calories through the floor. That's why OMAD's so good, because if you're a fucking gamer or some shit, now you actually almost have an excuse to put a positive spin on it. Okay, I was playing games all fucking day, but at least I didn't eat. Because I'm doing a meal a day diet. Because I'm fatter than fuck. Okay, but say if you're a fat dude and you're like 250 and you should be like a lean 180 and you're like 6 feet tall, and you want to go pump iron, well, then you're gonna have to tolerate a bit slower weight loss. Slow compared to what though? You know how fast you'd lose weight still if you're eating my exact diet? Like say right now, let's say I lose like whatever. If you were eating my exact diet right now, which you wouldn't even want to eat that much, but let's just say you're getting it in. 2,000 calorie under, 200 grams of protein. If you're a 250-pound dude and you're in the gym doing some weight training, a bit of cardio, you're going to be losing weight like easily, probably first month you'll probably lose 15 pounds, maybe even 20, 15. Okay, you might be losing like 4 pounds a week at the start. And that's eating a diet that you can still put on muscle on a crazy cut. So that's why I'm going to be talking more about my okay, because even my diet, if you adhered to my exact diet as a male and you're a fat pig, you're going to get way down there on body weight if you ate exactly what I'm showing you in those videos. And if you feel like this is a lot of food, well, then eat less If I was a woman, I'd be doing the same thing. I'd be showing you that I'm getting ripped on like 1,200 or some shit. And then you fat women can just copycat it. But if you're really fat and you're not hungry, 1,200 is way too much, then you just eat. If you're doing OMAD, that's the power of the fasting. A lot of you, it'll make you just want to eat way less, especially when your leptin feedback loop wakes up and shit. Because then you're not even hungry. Easy. Easy, man. Like, do you know how rare it is to actually get ripped the way I'm telling anybody that's actually, and another thing too, the goals you set, you need to set, this is the goal even the fattest pig should be setting. I am going to get ripped. Not like a guy that's 450 pounds is like, I think I'll look pretty good at 250. And he's like 5'8". You're just so used to being so fat that you think 250 is good? Okay, shoot for the stars, bitch. Moonshot. Moonshot. Okay, that's one of the biggest ups right off the top. Your goal is so weak. Okay, get in the mindset that you're going to get shredded. And I'll tell you right now, if you're a woman that's like, say, 300-400 pounds, and you're eating like a skinny, you're going to become a skinny bitch. So if you're a 400-pound woman, and you know well that skinny women are let's say they're eating like 1,000 a day, and you're eating that, if not less, because you're so fat you're not even hungry for $1,000 on a meal a day, you know you're going to get skinny. If you're a fat dude and you're eating my exact diet, especially when I throw up that after picture and I'm 8% body fat diced, you think if you ate my exact diet and you're bigger than I am, bone structure and shit, you think you're not getting ripped on that? Of course you are. Of course you are. The goals need to be better. Your goals are dog shit. Okay, there's even people, man. Okay, people are so soft. Don't let anybody tell you, oh, I got mouthpieces that are like, oh, you can't get down to 8% body fat too long. Blah, blah, blah. And this that haven't been even under 12% body fat in their whole life. Okay, even these, like, there's whiners out there, because here's the thing. When you start setting these kinds of goals, and you get there, or everybody's going to try to stop you from doing that, because that'll make them look like complete pigs. Okay, complete pigs. I'll tell you right now, for your average man, if they have good structure, and they're counting that food, they can maintain sub 12% body fat all year round for the rest of their fucking life. And there's that that say, you can't do that, you'll get hormonal issues and shit, blah, 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 blah. Says the fat pig that's never been even close to a good body weight in their life. You know what's actually funny? You know one good thing for sure that came out of this Ozempic and weight loss drug craze? That fat acceptance movement is coming to a end. Because a lot of these women, they were just using it as a cope because they couldn't lose weight. For example, they're like, they joined the fat acceptance movement because they just couldn't lose weight. So like, it's like if we can't beat them, join them. Enough people did lose weight on Ozempic and some of these weight loss drugs the last few years that women started coming out and be like, yeah, that was the biggest up I ever did going into that fat acceptance. Because deep down, these women didn't want to be fat. And that was the truth. It was a huge cope because they couldn't lose weight. But now the problem is that they're all drug addicts on long-term weight loss drugs, and they have the negative side effects because they're not practicing a proper lifestyle while they're on the drugs. So when they come off the drugs, they don't actually gain the weight back. That's what happens. They stay on the drugs either so long they get all fucked up, or they come off the drugs, gain the weight back, or a lot of people in general still won't even lose weight or get to a good body weight on the drugs. Because they're still eating too many fucking calories. So that's all the drugs do is restrict the fucking calories you intake because it's hunger suppressant. You can't dodge the calorie count, baby. Your calorie count is going to dictate your weight loss. What's your calorie count? Your calorie count. Okay, mine I tell you every day now. Right now it's 2 grand maximum. And at the same time, I'm cutting slower, so I don't want to be under by too much. You super. What's your calorie count, bitch? Okay, and no cheating. Man, I do not make a mistake. Okay, I do not cheat. Period. Period. Okay, you get on a good purpose and set a real goal. I do not. You don't need to cheat. Why would I need to cheat when I can eat whatever the fuck I want as long as it fits those parameters? As long as I fit it into my calorie count and I hit a decent protein count, why would I ever have to cheat? That's the whole thing. The reason all these orthorexic need to cheat is because their diet sucks. Because there's no adherence. Of course you're going to want to cheat if Baker and Ken Dad Bod Berry got eating ribeye for the last 30 days. Of course you're going to want to cheat because that diet's orthorexic as fuck. Meaning you have massive, basically it's when there's massive restriction to eat a certain macro and certain food choices. It's food choice. Food choice dogma is essentially orthorexia, basically. Okay, that's what it is. Okay, that's what it is. So anyone is like, oh, eat this, eat that. And then there's going to still be people, even me, talking about showing my meals at night. 2,000 all that matters is the protein, the calories. Okay, there's still like, yeah, if you ate that in a zero carb version or a zero fat version, they're like, you'd get more weight off. Like fuck I would. Like fuck. In fact, the adherence, you just the adherence. So now on your zero fat version, I can't have any chocolate. That's just fine and dandy. Or on your zero carb version, I can't have any chocolate. That's just fine and dandy. Chocolate can save some of these lives when they are on their rag. As long as they fit it into their calorie count. Okay, it's funny. I'm showing people I'm eating canned goods, exact calories, hitting a protein count I want to hit. And people will be like, just eat the same calories but zero fat. Yeah, why the fuck would I even entertain that? If I have a day like that one day, my fat was pretty low. In fact, I even looked at it afterwards. My fat that day was like 15 grams, which is low. But I didn't plan on that. It was just because I picked those foods that I wanted to have that night. Calorie count was 1,900, like whatever. Under 2 grand. Protein count was like, that was a high protein. That day, I was way up there. It was like 220 grams of protein. Okay, but I just made up the rest of the calories. Just happened to be a low fat day. I didn't mean it. Next day, I had chocolate and shit. How is it better if I'm restricting any foods with the fat in them as long as I hit my calorie count, man? When are people going to get that through their head? I'll have way higher adherence. That's why I'm going to get way more ripped than any of you. Like, nobody's going to get as lean as a guy eating like this. It's too easy. It's too easy. Holding every ounce of muscle. It's easy. Because you can eat whatever the you want. I have reasons for why I'm eating the canned goods. Because the calories are bang on. Bang on. In fact, some of those cans, like the cans of beans, it'll say this many calories in like 250 mils. Now, that's probably if you got rid of the water. So I'm actually under on those beans. It's less than you think because I'm assuming with the can, like the mixed melody beans. That was the first time I came across that. I was thinking in my head, I'm like, they're saying the 1 cup of these beans is X calories. But if you put the water in the cup, so what's actually in the can of beans is some water, not much. And the beans, the calories would be lower in the cup of that emulsion of beans and water than if it was just straight beans. So maybe less. I would be even under on that. I trust my calories so much, I don't even get on the scale. I'll get on the scale when I look at my abs in the mirror and I'm like, holy, there's a vein. There's a vein. There's a vein. Okay, it's so easy. And with you super fat pigs, OMAD's a joke. You get in your steak juice salts during the day, some 0-calorie drinks, and you push the fast and you eat a meal. If you've had like bariatric surgery or you're on weight loss drugs, practicing OMAD is perfect because you're already not hungry. Bariatric surgery, you got a smaller gut, so you're not going to eat shit. Okay, now there's going to be a lot of people that had bariatric surgery that gained weight after it or didn't lose shit. Well, now it's not all bad. There's a silver lining. You'll be able to get skinny as a rail. Weight loss drugs, you should be practicing OMAD on the weight loss drugs because you'll fast all day like nothing because there's no hunger, you're on the dope. And then at night, you won't eat up. Now you start getting super skinny on them weight loss drugs. If you don't want to lose muscle and bone, like the only reason that's happening because people are eating just too of macros. They're losing about the same amount of muscle and bone as a fruit vegan because they're just eating whatever and they're not prioritizing the protein at a low body weight. That's what's happening there. Okay, that's not just the weight loss drugs causing that. That's just a low protein issue at a low body weight. Okay, people have no common sense when they see these news articles and shit. Okay, I'm going to wrap this up. So, snake juice salts, I went over a lot of shit with calories, with holding water when you're fat and shit. Don't cheat. Okay, there's no need to because you can eat whatever the you want. Just hit the calorie count. I've given you calorie counts. Okay, with women, like literally your average women, 1,000. Start there and use OMAD. And if it's too much of the meal, then don't eat as much. Eat less. If you start getting stupid skinny and you have to hit a calorie count because you're wasting away to nothing, then you're going to have to open up the eating window so you're not force feeding on a eating window like OMAD. Okay, 1,000, maybe 1,200 if you're a really tall woman. Start there. Just start there. Okay, like I said, if you're super fat and you end up eating like 500, perfect, that's a win. Men, $2,000, 1,800. Fat men, if you're and you're not even hungry and 1,000's a pile because you're burning body fat like crazy, 1,000, 800. Okay, what kind of calorie counts are going to get you ripped? Let's talk about that for 2 seconds before I wrap this up. Okay, most women are going to get ripped on $1,000, somewhere between $1,000 and 1,200 a day. And if they're really short, they might even have to do a little bit of cardio on 1,200 if they're like 5 feet tall. That's the numbers you got to shoot for, bitch. Okay, if you're not losing weight, you got to eat less or wrap the cardio up. Okay, protein count for those women. A good starting point, like for just saying a protein count in general, on the low, let's talk the low end. The upper end is going to be just preference. The low end, if you take the BMI chart and use that lean body weight, there's a good number right there. So if you're 5'3", your BMI chart is going to show 107-pound body weight, I believe. At 18.5 BMI. Maybe go like the lowest end of that, maybe go like 0.8 grams of that number. So for you need like 85 grams of protein on the bottom end. When you're lean, that's going to matter. That's how you hold muscle when you're lean. Keep that. That's a good number, 85, 80. Go by feel. Maybe you do run it a little lower now. Maybe you run it down to the 0.7. Depends on your lifestyle. You resistance training or not. Okay, men, the same shit. The same shit. Okay, those numbers stand pretty true. Where you take like the low end, like 0.7, 0.8 grams per pound of absolutely diced, ripped body weight. And then anything above that is just preference to stick to a calorie count. Or because you feel like you need more because of the way you train. It's not rocket science. The only thing that matters in the end when you're trying to get shredded is the calorie count to hold the body weight and the protein good enough to hold your muscle, bitch. Until next time, count the calories, you fat pig.